What's up, Russell Scope family? Before we dive into today's absolute bombshell, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe because what I'm about to tell you is going to blow your mind. And honestly, it might just make you question everything WWE has been doing with their talent over the past year. So let me get this straight. WWE Brass is reportedly viewing Oba Femi, yes, the same Oba Femi who's been dominating NXT for months, on the exact same level as Gunther, the ring general, the guy who held the Intercontinental Championship for 666 days. Now, I know what you're thinking, and trust me, I had the same reaction. But here's where it gets absolutely insane, and this is what's going to make your blood boil. If WWE really sees these two on the same level, then why is Oba Femi still in NXT, while stars with half his potential are getting called up to the main roster every other month? Make it make sense. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, because this is the kind of backstage news that changes everything we thought we knew about WWE's future plans. Alright, let's break this down piece by piece, because this story has layers that go deep into WWE's creative thinking and their long-term vision. First off, for those who might not be fully familiar with Oba Femi, and honestly, if you're not watching NXT, you're missing out on one of the most physically imposing specimens WWE has developed in years. This man is a 6'4", 270-pound wrecking machine who moves like he's a cruiserweight. Let that sink in for a second. He's got the size of a monster, the agility of a high flyer, and the charisma of a main eventer. Sound familiar? Because that's exactly the blueprint that made Gunther one of the most respected champions in recent WWE history. Now, according to multiple sources close to WWE's creative team, there are several key decision makers in Stamford who believe Oba Femi has generational talent written all over him. And when I say generational, I'm not talking about your average "this guy's pretty good" type of praise. I'm talking about the kind of buzz that surrounded Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and yes, Gunther himself, when WWE realized they had something truly special on their hands. But here's what's absolutely mind-blowing about this comparison. Gunther's entire persona is built on decades of European wrestling tradition, technical mastery, and an aura of legitimacy that took years to cultivate. Oba Femi, this man is doing it with raw athleticism, an undeniable presence, and a character that's still evolving. The fact that WWE sees them as equals this early in Femi's career tells you everything you need to know about how high the ceiling is for this guy. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, though. The NXT North American Championship. Oba Femi held that title for 239 days. That's not just a good reign, people. That's a dominant reign that put the entire NXT roster on notice. During that time, he destroyed everybody they put in front of him. And I mean destroyed. We're talking about the kind of booking that WWE only reserves for their most protected stars. The same kind of booking they gave Gunther during his record-breaking IC title run. The parallels are actually kind of eerie when you really think about it. Both men are booked as unstoppable forces. Both men have an aura of invincibility that makes every match feel like a legitimate fight. Both men use hard-hitting physical styles that make every chop, every strike, every slam feel like it matters. And most importantly, both men have proven they can carry championship gold with the kind of prestige and importance that elevates everyone around them. But here's where my frustration kicks in, and I know I'm not alone on this. Comment below if you feel the same way. If WWE genuinely views Oba Femi on the same level as one of their most successful champions of the modern era, why are they keeping him in developmental? Now, I get it, NXT isn't really developmental anymore in the traditional sense. It's a full-fledged third brand with its own identity and its own championship lineage. But let's be real, the goal is still to get to Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown, right? Think about it this way. Gunther was called up to the main roster in April 2022, and by August, he was Intercontinental Champion. By the time he lost that title in 2024, he was one of the most over stars in the entire company. He main evented premium live events. He had classics with everyone from Drew McIntyre to Sami Zayn. So if WWE sees that same potential in Oba Femi, what's the holdup? Some people in the know suggest that WWE is intentionally keeping Femi in NXT to let him marinate a bit longer, to fine-tune his character work, his promo skills, and his in-ring psychology before throwing him into the deep end of Raw or SmackDown. And you know what? There's actually some wisdom in that approach. Look at what happened with Gunther himself. He spent time in NXT UK perfecting his craft before the main roster call-up, and when he finally arrived on SmackDown, he was a complete package. But here's my counter-argument, and this is where I want you to weigh in. Hasn't Femi already proven himself? The man has the look, he has the presence, he has the in-ring ability, and most importantly, he has the it factor that you absolutely cannot teach. Every time he walks down that ramp, you believe he's a star. That's not something you can develop. Either you have it or you don't, and Femi undeniably has it. There's also another layer to this story that's absolutely fascinating. According to some backstage whispers, there are people within WWE who want to see Femi and Gunther eventually collide on the main roster in what could be one of the most physically intense matches in WWE history. Just imagine it, the Reign General versus the Ruler, two absolute titans of power and precision going head-to-head in a battle that could steal the show at any WrestleMania. The booking potential alone is enough to get any wrestling fan excited. You could build to that match for months, maybe even years, creating this narrative of the unstoppable force meeting the immovable object. You could have Femi systematically demolish the entire Raw or SmackDown roster, while Gunther does the same on the opposite brand, setting up a champion versus champion match that would break the internet. But here's what really gets me thinking about WWE's long-term strategy. If they truly see Femi on Gunther's level, then they're probably planning something big for him. We're not talking about a mid-card run or a tag team championship reign to get his feet wet. We're talking about a potential trajectory straight to the world championship scene. Think about WWE's current main event landscape. Roman Reigns is still the tribal chief, but he's been in that spot for years now. Cody Rhodes is carrying the legacy of his family name. Seth Rollins is a proven main eventer. But who's the next generation of world championship caliber talent? That's where someone like Femi comes in. WWE might be protecting him in NXT right now, building him up as an unstoppable monster, so that when he does get called up, it's not just another debut, it's an event. And let's be honest, WWE has learned from their mistakes with call-ups over the years. Remember when they rushed people to the main roster before they were ready? Remember all those NXT champions who got lost in the shuffle on Raw or SmackDown? WWE doesn't want that to happen with Femi. If they're comparing him to Gunther, that means they're going to be extremely careful with how they handle his main roster arrival. So what does all of this mean for the future? Well, if WWE totally views Femi on the same level as Gunther, then we're looking at a potential cornerstone of the company for the next decade. This isn't just about right now. This is about building a legacy, creating a star who can carry championships with prestige, who can main event WrestleMania, and who can be the face of WWE when the current generation eventually steps aside. The comparison to Gunther isn't just flattering, it's a blueprint for success. Gunther showed WWE exactly how to book a dominant champion in the modern era. He showed them that fans will rally behind a wrestler who feels legitimate, who makes every match feel important, and who carries themselves like an absolute star. If Femi can follow that same path while adding his own unique flavor to the presentation, we're talking about a future WWE champion, a future Royal Rumble winner, and a future WrestleMania main eventer. But the big question remains, when will WWE pull the trigger? When will we see Femi make that walk to Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown? And more importantly, when we do see that happen, will WWE follow through on this comparison by giving him the monster push he deserves? Or will they fumble the bag like they've done with other promising talents in the past? That's the discussion I want to have with you right now. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think WWE is right to compare Femi to Gunther? Should he be called up to the main roster immediately, or does he need more time in NXT? And who would you want to see him face first when he finally makes that main roster debut? If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most exciting prospects in WWE today, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. Subscribe to WrestleScope if you haven't already, because we bring you the latest news, the hottest takes, and the deepest analysis in the wrestling world. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload, and share this video with your wrestling friends, because this is the kind of conversation that needs to be happening in the WWE universe right now. I'll catch you in the next one, WrestleScope family. Until then, keep watching, keep commenting, and keep believing in the future of professional wrestling.